Welcome back to another installation of Jacked Up Gardening. Mason and Caitlin here to tackle your fertilizer and gardening questions. This week, we're talking shelf life. When you're using jacks, a tablespoon per gallon at a time, depending on how many plants you have, you may find that a tub of jacks lasts you quite a while. And that's why we get a lot of folks asking us, how long exactly is that blue stuff good for?
Yeah, and it's a great question. Maybe you found some in your garage from a year or so ago. Is it still good? The answer is most likely yes, because our fertilizers are soluble powders. There really isn't necessarily an expiration date on them when stored properly, which is key. So keeping them in a cool, dry environment, it will last for a long time. And when you do mix it up, it'll provide the same nutrients to your plants as day one. But Mason, maybe you want to talk about some of the things to watch out for?
Yeah, absolutely, Caitlin. I've seen some pictures over the last few months. Is this still good? And the key here is to make sure that where you're storing your jacks is somewhere cool and dry. Science alert, because jacks is a soluble powder. It's hydrophilic. You can add that one to your vocabulary for this week. But that means it attracts water molecules. So you may notice that if you leave the top off of your jack's tub and it gets humid outside, your fertilizer might get a little soupy, if you will. But from there, it might dry out again, and then it might be solid as a rock. So, not to worry too much though, if that does happen, the fertilizer is technically still good. It's just it might be a little harder to use, or take a little longer to dissolve the next time you use it if it is solid like a rock. But again, if you're storing it in a cool, dry, again, I stress the word dry environment, that probably won't be a problem for you anyways. And if you've got lots of plants, you're likely not running into this issue at all because you're going through multiple tubs of jacks in a year. Um, However, in some strange cases, and I see this maybe, once a year, somebody will send in a photo, something else might have contaminated your jacks, and maybe it looks like mold is growing on the top. In those cases, we do recommend starting with a fresh tub because you don't really want to risk spreading whatever that funk is to your plants that you're fertilizing.
Yeah, great point, Mason. I will say, don't confuse the brown, blue, and black specks in our Petunia feed, which is a popular formula right now. That's not mold. So it's just iron and it's meant to look like that. So Petunia feed might be a little bit of an exception.
Spot on, Caitlin. So what about storing Jax that's already in solution? So you've already mixed up that gallon. How do we store that and how long?
Yeah, so if you make up a gallon of fertilizer solution and don't use it all, you don't have to just dump it in your lawn and dump it away. You can make a fresh batch at least every 2 weeks, but once it is mixed with water, you can store it for up to 2 weeks, which is really nice. So that way you know what you're using. The rate should be the same, and you can just pick up where you left off in a 7 to 10 days once you're ready to fertilize again.
Yeah, and I will say that, same kind of goes for storage on that as well. You want it to be cooler and out of the sun.
Mhm.
And really that's just, you don't want the water to dissolve out and it changes rates. So, but in general, a garage is a great place to store that kind of stuff. So, well, Caitlin, I think that covers it for this week. Anything else from you?
I think that's about it for right now. I mean, so far the plants are looking pretty good. Jax is doing what it's supposed to. So,
Yeah,
yeah, keep growing.
I'll have to snag some photos from my garden outside. I'm gonna have broccoli next week, so I'm pretty pumped about that.
Wonderful.
But yeah, so until next time, keep those questions coming in, and we'll keep here and trying to get you those answers. So until next time, we'll see you.